Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another live session of Building $1 Million Business. Let's make sure we get Insty on here. Can we get Insty? Come on, come on. It always takes a minute for Instagram to connect. Let's go. Can we get it? Can we get it? Boom, win that thing. Welcome back, game changers. Welcome back, hustlers. Welcome back, go-getters. Welcome back, mid-level professionals. Welcome back, corporate leaders. Welcome back, small business owners. Welcome back, entrepreneurs. Welcome back. Listen, you're in the right place. What are we doing? We're building $1 million business, and we're doing it in public. Every single day, I take you behind the scenes to give you some insight, basically giving you the playbook. I tell you the conversations that I'm having. I tell you how much money I'm spending. I'm telling you where I'm investing money. I tell you about the automations. I'm telling you about the back end systems that we're setting up. I tell you about the landing page. I tell you about everything that we're doing to build our $1 million playbook, to include collaborations, to include spotlight features, everything. You get everything right here. So you're in the right spot. Listen, today we're on episode 43. Episode 43. So what does that mean? That means there's 42 additional episodes that you may have not watched before, right? So if this is your first time here, I would like to say thank you for joining. Welcome back. If you're a returning viewer, listen, what are we doing? We're building $1 million business, and we're doing it in public. Why did I decide to do this? Because nobody's doing this for you. Like, how many times have you thought about this in your life? Like, you watch other people and they just blow up. Like their brand, it blows up. They get visibility. They start getting brand deals. They start getting recognitions. They start getting promotions. And it feels like it happened overnight, right? Well, this is what this is about. This is about giving you that playbook so you can have your glow up session, right? You want to glow up in one calendar year. This is your place. We're building $1 million business, and I'm showing you how I structure it so you can build and develop $1 million here in 12 months, just 12 months. So I'm your proof point. What you guys have been doing is rocking with my boy. You've been rocking with your boy. You've been giving me insight. You've been inviting other people as well. All of that has been instrumental in helping us get to our $1 million playbook. So we got two goals this year, right? The first goal is actually generate $1 million. The second goal is to create a 50,000 member ecosystem. And I decided to use a newsletter to do that. Today, we got over 6,000 subscribers, and that continues to grow. But we got 10 months to get to 50,000 people and $1 million in revenue. And today's episode 43. So if it's your first time here, we do these every single day. They're noon Central Standard Time. They're only 30-minute segments. Every single episode is designed to do one thing: give you the insight, hand you the playbook, so you too can recreate what we're doing so you can build your $1 million playbook as well. So if you want to watch the other 42 episodes, I created a playlist on my YouTube. It's called Building $1 Million Business. Every single episode that we have right now, they're available to watch for free of charge. They're great Netflix and chill series. I guarantee you're going to enjoy it. Every single one is packed with insight, right? So I would encourage you to go check those out before they disappear. If you ever been on social media before, we know content doesn't last forever. At some point, it may get scraped or removed. I don't want that to happen to you. So go check those out while they're still free and they're still available on my YouTube page. So once again, welcome back. Today, we're going to be streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, as well as Instagram. So we got all the family in one particular place. And a lot of people always want to know, well, why are you streaming across so many channels? Because visibility is king in today's area. Everybody has a cell phone, and most people spend at least 2 or 3 hours a day with the cell phone in their hand. So visibility for us becomes part of our playbook to reach our $1 million. There's so many other things that we've been doing this year to include coaching and landing pages and things like that. So if it's your first time here and you wanted to find out how did we get here, the moves that we make, go check those out. Today, before I get into this topic, I want to say this right here. This is episode 43, right? So thank you guys for coming back. If you're a returning viewer, I appreciate that. Here's the other thing too: invite other like-minded individuals to these as well, right? Like every single day, noon Central Standard Time. The goal is to help people amplify their brand, their visibility, as well as provide them the playbook so they can experience the freedom in life that they've been looking for. They can experience or create that generational wealth that they've been trying to create for them family. Nobody gives you the playbook. Well, guess what? I do that. So welcome, family. Thank you. The comment boxes are going to be open. You can always drop your first name, what platform you're streaming from. I'll make sure to say hi and thank you for joining. I see you, Laverne. I see all the families already. TikTok family's blowing up already. I like TikTok, man. And I'm new to TikTok, so I appreciate that. Then I got my Instagram family, my LinkedIn family always shows up, and then my Facebook and Instagram, YouTube family always shows up for me as well. So let's get into today's agenda. Today is episode 43. What are we talking about today, Pat? Tell me, what are we talking about? Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between watching success and actually building success. There's a difference right there. So remember, the chat boxes are going to be open. Now, I also want to say this here. I always cover up my face because I have notes that I'm working through as I'm talking and stuff. And I got these fancy cameras that track my movement. So when I move left and right, they tend to, track with me as well. If you ever experience where like I'm zoomed in and the only thing you can see is my lips, y'all drop a comment and let me let me know that I can see the comments, but I can't see my face. So let's get in this. I see you. Okay, thank you. Was it Mama Joe 60? I see. Appreciate the love. And then we got Laverne 1998. All right, must be the year you was born. So, or when your kids was born. I see you. So let's get into it. The difference between watching success and building it. So the perspective changes everything. Let me ask you something, family. Let me ask you something. Y'all, you know I'm going to be real in every single episode. So sometimes I challenge you. Sometimes I want you to challenge me. Have you ever watched somebody build something successful and thought to yourself, you just sit there, you're watching them build it, and you start thinking to yourself, man, that doesn't look that hard. You ever thought about that? Maybe it's your favorite content creator. Maybe it's your favorite reality star. Maybe it's an actor. I don't care. Maybe it's a leader in your network or whatnot. You sit there and you watch them build something. You're like, man, that don't look that hard. And so you see the finished product. You see the version of them that you actually admire, right? You see the momentum that they build. You see the audience that they created. And from the outside, everything looks simple. It looks extremely simple. I see you, Brandy. Thanks for popping in. But something interesting happens when you start building something of your own. Your entire perspective changes because now you're not just observing the results. You're the one responsible for actually creating those. Excuse me, I can't even speak today. You're the ones who are creating those results. And that's when we start realizing something like how many moving parts are actually involved in building and creating that thing that you admire so much. Like the ideas that go into it, the decisions that need to happen, the execution that has to take place, all the adjustments that need to happen on the fly, the things that are working, the things that are not working, the moments where you feel confident, the moment that you don't feel confident, the moment when doubt creeps in, the moment when you just start questioning your life. You're questioning the direction. You're questioning, why did I even start this thing, right? And that's one of the biggest shifts that I experienced so far doing this 52-week build. Now, this is episode 40. What did I say? 43. And this is week 9. So we have a lot of different weeks. We got a lot of weeks left in the year, but we're learning as we're going. That's what we should be doing as entrepreneurs, as business owners. And remember, anytime I learn something, I come here in front of the camera and I share it with you, because if I know it, I want you to know it. We should be growing together, right? And that's why the comment boxes are always open. Remember, drop your first name, what platform you're streaming from. I say hi and thank you. I'm no stranger here. I love the attention. I love the fact you've been rocking with me, and I love the insight that you've been providing as well. Listen to this, family. The difference between watching success and building it yourself, they're two different, completely different experiences. And in fact, they're two different sentences. There's watching success, and then there's building it yourself. Yesterday, we talked about the 7 truths that I didn't fully understand until I started building something of my own. And a lot of these lessons, they came from moments where I had to really slow down, right? And had to really look at what was happening, but not what I had hoped was happening, but what was actually happening in the business, what was moving the business forward. So today I want to talk about something that sits right in the middle of all that, the difference between people who watch growth, right, and the people who are willing to grow over time. Because I see you, family, and TikTok. Thank you. The difference between the people who watch growth and the people who actually build over time. Because once you experience the difference, the way you approach your work, the way you approach leadership, the way you approach opportunity, everything changes completely. So let's get into it. Watching success is comfortable. We know that, man. We're behind the phones, behind the screens. We're just sitting here watching somebody be successful. Like, damn, he's at it again, another live. Like, really? What is this for? Why is he doing that? Because I'm blowing up. Your boy's blowing up. Like, I'm actually doing this and I'm blowing up in real life, like real time. I'm only blowing up because you guys are watching me, right? But I'm only blowing up because I decided to put myself out there. But I spent years watching other creators, watching other people build their brand online. And what I wanted to do is really, really study what are they doing? What are they doing right? What are the changes they making? What are the conversations that they're having? And that's what I do every single day. Now I share that insight with you, right? So watching success, it feels comfortable. We've all been there. When you're watching somebody else blow up, they get in their glow up season, right? The hot girl summers, the whole nine. We've seen that. There's no pressure in watching other people. There's no deadlines. There's no real risk that comes associated with watching other people. You're just sitting there and you're observing, like you're learning and you're studying what other people are doing. And honestly, there's real value in that. Like I find value in that. I mean, that's how I got here. I wanted to watch people. I wanted to learn from it. I wanted to get the value and then the insight and then pass it on to you. That feels valuable. We all learn at some point by watching somebody else, right? We all pick up ideas from watching somebody else's win, which is great, right? And we see how they move. We see how they talk. We see the plays that they run. And then sometimes we start thinking, okay, I see what they did there, right? You seen that? You done that before? You start watching people, you mimicking what you say, okay, I see what they're doing. Man, listen, I got so many people joining. Thank you, family, for joining. Remember, episode 43. We got 42 additional episodes. Go back and watch my playlist on YouTube, Building $1 Million Business. The other thing, sign up for the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, this is a great time to do that. I got a floating banner, I got QR codes, or just simply reply newsletter, and I'll make sure you get your personal invite as well. But this is where it gets tricky for a lot of people. Watching success can also create the illusion that progress is simple. We've been there before. We watch other people. You're like, man, I could do that too. You see the finished product. You see the clean version that they put out. You see the highlight reel. But what you don't see is absolutely that messy middle. The things that they had to go through before what you see became public. You don't see those late nights. You don't see the moments where things absolutely didn't work. You don't see that small decisions that had to make every single where they had to make every single day or show up every single day just to keep moving forward. You don't see the late nights where there's tears, they're crying. You don't see those nights where family gets left out because these dreams are trying to turn something into reality. So I want to ask you something, family. Have you ever spent a lot of time studying something, like really a lot of time studying something, right? Reading about it, watching videos about it, thinking about how you would do it if it was you, but never actually starting anything? Let me pause there, because now I'm going to step on some toes right here. I may ruffle some feathers because you may feel like I'm calling you out, but everything that I'm talking about are things that I went through. Remember, you know what? I'm a veteran. I spent 6 years in the military, 2 tours overseas, 1 during 9/11, former healthcare technology executive, was part of a multi-million-dollar acquisition that happened in 2018. In 2023, I became a full-time entrepreneur. And between 2023 and 2026, I've been head down hustling. What did that mean? Is I've been behind the scenes learning what works and what doesn't work. Today, I'm here to share with you what absolutely works to create $1 million playbook here in 2026. So rock with your boy, follow your boy. I'm always going to give you the insight and hip you to the game of what actually working here in 2026. So just be honest with yourself real quick, family, because I think most of us, we've been there. You've been researching, you're learning, you're thinking through all the different strategies that you are creating your business, right? In your mind, it feels like you're making progress. But at some point, you realize something. Studying something feels productive. But studying and building are not the same thing. Some of us were stuck in that studying mode, but we never build anything, but we want to build something, but we're still stuck in studying mode. Building introduces pressures. It really, really does. Now you have to make real decisions. You have to commit to a direction. You have to deal with the results that might not make much sense in the moment. You ever been there before? You started building and you're like, man, this is way different than what I was looking online. Maybe that was you. You go to YouTube and you look at a video because you want to learn something. And you're like, okay, that's all I got to do. That's all I got to do. And so you go back and you try it in practice. And then you got to go back to the video because you missed the step or you couldn't remember that step. That's like building a business. Same thing. When you're building in public, it's like that. You got to go back and you got to watch over and over again and then go put that stuff in practice. And this is where a lot of people hesitate when they're trying to build something on their own. Because once you move from watching to actually building something, the thing that you thought about doing, it becomes real. Like you got to put real effort and real momentum in there. There's no accountability. Nobody's checking you for that thing that you're building. There's no there's no effort involved when you're actually just watching something. There's the possibility that something might not work when you actually do it yourself. But here's the flip side of all that. Those are also the exact moments where growth, it actually starts showing up, right? And those uncomfortable moments. But growth rarely happens while you're watching something. You ever grow just by watching something? I don't know about you, but I've never done that. Think of track and field. Can you run your fastest quarter-mile lap just because you watch somebody else do it? Hmm. Can you create a business just by watching somebody else do it and not actually putting it in practice? At some point, you got to actually put it in practice. So growth shows up when you actually start moving. Let's talk about this. Building forces clarity. It truly, really does. It forces clarity. Remember, if you just now joining, thank you guys for joining. We're in episode 43. Where there's 42 additional episodes. I thank you guys for joining. We're building $1 million business, and we're doing it in public. We're growing a 50,000 subscriber newsletter. If you haven't joined, sign up for that newsletter. You can either, the QR code, the floating banner, or the link in the bio, or just drop newsletter, and I send you a personal invite, and I see you on the inside. But everything is designed to give you insight and attitude so we can get to the next level of building your career. Now, here's something else that I learned during this process. Building truly forces clarity. When you're just watching something from outside, everything feels wide open, right? You can imagine like 100 different possibilities. You can picture 10 different directions that you would take your business. You can sit there and say, well, if it were me, I might try it this way. Or you might say, I might go this route instead. But when you're the one that's actually building something, when you're that one that's building something, you don't get to stay in that comfort space. No, not forever, you don't. Because at some point, momentum has to take place. At some point, you have to choose your direction, right? You have to choose the message that you're going to put out there. You have to choose what you're going to focus on. You have to decide what actually deserves your energy and your time right now. And that may sound simple in the very beginning, but it's not always easy. Because when you're building something, there's always a lot of good ideas that are floating around you. Different projects that you could explore, different opportunities that you can choose, different platforms that you can grow on. And sometimes everything looks important. You're like, oh, I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be here. All of that looks important. It looks fun. It looks like that's the direction that you need to be going in. Have you ever had that feeling? You ever had that feeling where you got 5 different things that you can work on at one time? And then they all seem like really good ideas at that time. That's where building forces clarity, because the real question becomes this: what actually moves the mission forward right now? Not tomorrow. We're talking about right now. What sounds impressive? Not what sounds impressive, not what looks good online, not what might get a quicker reaction. We're talking about what actually strengthens the foundation of what you're building. Okay. That's the question that we've been asking during this build. Remember, we're week 9. We got 52 weeks of build time, right? And it's only week 9. So every single week, every single day, we're learning something new. And what I'm learning, I'm passing it on to you guys so you too can build your $1 million playbook. And that's exactly how we landed on the decision to focus on the landing page. If you've been rocking with me, we've been talking about it last week. We made a decision. You helped me make a decision. We needed a landing page. At the beginning of this week, we talked about we're going to start the conversations with our landing page designer, right? We've started those conversations, but that's exactly what we learned. We learned that our landing page could be the biggest opportunity of our whole entire build here in 2026. Because if your landing page doesn't convert attention into dollars, then right now you just got something that's fun. What we're doing is we're creating a business. So from the outside, somebody might say, well, why do we want to spend our time on a landing page? But from a builder's perspective, it makes perfect sense, because unstructured traffic, it doesn't lead anywhere. And the goal, if we're creating something, we want to take people on a journey. We want to take from here to here to here to here to the end result. Not only do they become a buyer, they become a user, but they also become an advocate. People that are vouching for you, people that refer people back to you, right? The people that become repeat buyers. People might visit, but if they don't know where to go next, that momentum, that moment that you had with that person, it absolutely dies. And we don't want that moment to die for us. So building forces you to slow down and think. We got to slow down and think, not just about the movement, but about the direction. Okay. And direction matters when you're building something, because that right direction, not only does it save you months, but it can save you years of wasted effort, right? That's why I'm sharing these things with you right now. Remember, folks, the chat boxes is open. Thank you guys for joining. We're on episode 43. There's 42 additional episodes. I created a playlist on my YouTube. It's called Building $1 Million Business. You want to check that out while they're free right now and while they're available, because we know content disappears because they're always making space for new content to come about. Every single episode is designed to do one thing, push you forward. I see you, Tony, Die79. I appreciate you tapping in. But so tap in with that. So we got 2 goals this year: build $1 million business here in 2026. So if you're just now joining, we're truly building $1 million in revenue here this year in 12 calendar months, right? And the other thing, we're creating a 50,000 member subscriber base, right? And the reason for that is because no matter what happens to the algorithms, no matter what happens with these social media sites, once you create your network, those people still rock with you, right? So this is what we're trying to create, and this is why I encourage you to create as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into what builders learn from feedback, okay? And then I'm going to wrap this thing out. I'm going to land this plane. I got 10 minutes, family. Y'all stick with me, and I'll try to work through this really quick. Remember, the chat boxes is open. I'll work through the comments as they come in. So there's another big difference that I wanted to share with you that I've noticed between watching success and actually building something of my own. The speed of feedback. This is so important. Purpose in life. I see you, family. When you're watching from the sidelines, feedback, it feels distant. It really, really does. Like when you're watching something from the sidelines, feedback, it feels distant. Like you're analyzing other people's results. You're trying to figure out what worked for them. You're trying to guess what didn't work for them. And you might say things like, well, maybe their message is connected better, or maybe the timing was right for them. But you're still guessing. You're still guessing because you actually hadn't created anything or done anything yourself. You're still watching other people. But because you're not inside the process, you're just observing the outcome. But when you start building something yourself, feedback becomes very real, and it's important, and it becomes very fast. You put something out there in the world, and then the response, it tells you a lot about what you put out there. People either engage with it or they scroll right past it. People respond to it or they stay quiet. People share it or it disappears in the timeline. That ever happened to you? Maybe it has. Those moments, they can be humbling, really humbling. I've been there, trust me. I see you, Ronnie. Ronnie Jennings 426. I see you, family. In those